Alrighty guys, we're back for some new Gruul Modified, and this is a Streets of Capenna Standard build. We're going to go over the deck, then hop into some normal play mode, because that's where I live right now. That's where the fun's at, man. I don't know, that's what I'm enjoying. I hope that's okay with you guys. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Redcat, and I play aggro decks, and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun. The deck is based around Upriser Renegade, pairing beautifully with Fight Rigging, as Fight Rigging has Hideaway 5, okay? And Hideaway is when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. And then on the card here, it says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So that works with our modified, right? Then, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, like our Renegade could get there pretty fast, right? You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Now, we're not trying to cheat out these big beefy creatures. We're just kind of trying to get free cards off of this while modifying our creatures, right? And yeah, the Renegade it gets +2/+0 for each other modified creature you control. This is definitely, in my opinion, an underplayed card, but I understand why as well, right? It doesn't have haste, doesn't have trample. It's not that fancy of a card, honestly, but I think it's a really cool one, and a really fun one too. And it's uncommon, so that's nice. So what else do we got in the deck here, guys? We got 3 Snakeskin Veil, 4 Swarm Shamblers, right? All that modified value. We got 3 Kami's Flare because removal's important, apparently. I mean, I don't understand it, guys. I don't know why everyone wants to play removal, but here it is. Kami's Flare is a super spicy one too. Being able to deal 2 damage to the permanent's controller if you control a modified creature, that's going to happen often. Very, very often. So that extra little ping to the face is important. We have a couple emergent sequences here for a little bit of ramp, I guess. While the land is going to have a big target on its back, you might be able to protect it with like a Snakeskin Veil, which could be cool. But mainly it's just in here for that extra modified creature and an extra early game modified creature, right? For Gala Greeters, this is an important one, guys. 2-drop 1/1 with Alliance. And so whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you choose one that hasn't been chosen yet. So you can put a +1/+1 counter on Gala Greeters. You can create a tapped treasure token. Don't forget it's tapped, that's important. Or you can gain 2 life. So you get a couple Gala Greeters out there, man, and the opponent's kind of crying themselves to sleep as you get like this ultra value every single turn, man. This card's beautiful, and it fits right into a modified build. A couple Ranger classes here. Now, I'm not really sure if you still want a Ranger class in a build that's running like Fight Rigging and stuff, right? Like, going the Upriser Fight Rigging path, I'm not sure if Ranger class is required here, but we got a couple of them to test it, and that level 2 is, I mean, Ranger class is just a great card. I don't even have to go over it, right? But yeah, we have a couple slotted in here. Speaking of a couple, we got a couple Oran-Rief Oozes, as well as a couple Invigorating Hot Springs as well. I feel like Oran-Rief is underplayed, right? 3-drop 2/2. You get to plug a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control when it enters, right? And then when it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this could get out of hand really, really fast in a modified build. Honestly, you might want to drop the Ranger class and go up to a couple Oran-Riefs. Or maybe this card is just bad and I'm wrong, and you want to drop the couple Oran-Riefs and go up a couple Ranger classes. I don't know. Stay tuned till the end of the video where we'll talk about it, I guess, right? We got a couple Invigorating Hot Springs. So the modified creatures you control have haste. That is amazing, okay? And a deck like this where you can modify creatures so easily, that is just so, so good. And then it gets 4 +1/+1 counters, and then you can remove a +1/+1 counter from Invigorating Hot Springs, okay? As a source, at sorcery speed, and only once each turn. So you can give your creatures haste with this too. Very, very spicy. 4 Thundering Raijus, our game ender, our game closer, what brings it all together, what makes the deck worth it, in my opinion. So 4-drop, 3/3 haste. You guys have probably seen Raiju though, but I'll go over it briefly. When it attacks, you get a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, so you can give it to itself. So that's important. You could make this a 4/4 haste. When Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. So yeah, it just ends games, and especially in a deck like this, like hopefully the opponent was cleaning up your board the whole game. Other words, Raiju is going to come down and just end it. Got a couple Hallandals, yeah, modified, and just an amazing card. Giving haste to your Uprisers and stuff, that could be really, really spicy. Speaking of haste, Froghemoth on the top end here, trample haste 4/4, another underplayed card. I feel like there's a lot of underplayed cards in this deck, but I don't know, maybe that's also why it leans towards the jankier side too. So trample haste 4/4, when it deals combat damage to a player, exile up to that many target cards from their graveyard. So if this just hits in, you get to take 4 cards out of the opponent's graveyard, which is actually important right now because there's a lot of decks that care about what's in their graveyard, which is kind of sweet, right? So then you put a +1/+1 counter on Froghemoth, so modified, right? For each creature card exiled this way, and you gain 1 life for each non-creature card exiled this way. So a little bit of life gain here with the Froghemoth and the Gala Greeters as well. Hopefully keeping us in against some of the more aggressive decks in the format. Now, we do have a Crawling Barrens, as well as a Lair, a Crucible, a Who Endures, and a Den of the Bugbear. So lots of stuff in the mana base over here, as well as our dual lands. Yeah, I think that's everything, guys. Hopefully I went over it well enough. This is definitely one of those decks where, I mean, you see all the 2-ofs here, so I really don't know which one of those we want 4 of, or maybe it's perfect right now. Maybe we just want 2 of all of them. Either way, yeah, we're kind of like testing the waters, like what's the best card, what's the standout cards in the deck, right? Let's go ahead and find out. I got lost in the menus, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, guys, I can't be the only one. I think they need to overhaul their menu system. Like some video games you'll play and it's just so clean and you find everything so easily. You know what I mean? I get lost often. And I play this often too, so I don't know, man. So this is an alright hand. I just like seeing all the mana. I like seeing both mana colors, honestly. I'll tell you what. There's a reason I play monocolored decks. Let's keep the red a secret for now, huh? And let's get that Gala Greeters down. Now we could have got greedy and saved the Swarm Shambler for a turn 3 play, but we didn't have the other 2-drop available at the time. We could go for the boost here on the Swarm Shambler, which I think we will over the swing. And speaking of the boost, I think we're going to go boost on Gala Greeters too, because we do got to start to think about getting over top of a Meat Hook. End the turn. What we should have done was keep the red source open, so maybe they thought we had something in hand. But they could also think it's a Snakeskin Veil too, so. This is a double block. I think that's an easy double block. We'll probably take out Swarm Shambler, but. So we'll block in, then we'll activate Swarm Shambler's ability. To make sure that they don't both die, right? Yeah, I think that's an easy double block though. So we could, so we're gonna play this out on red, right? Because Kami's Flare could take out another Stormseeker later on, which is really important. When we're offered the trade, like that's what we want to do, you know? Wants me to, what is that auto tap? Question mark? Opponent? Where are you going, opponent? Where are you going? I had to tap my land. That was weird. It wanted to tap both of my red sources. Either way, we're going to activate Ranger class to level 2. This is where like Invigorating Hot Springs would come really important, right? Because having that Hot Springs giving these things haste is actually just insane. And yeah, like I said, if they had any more like Storm Seekers or anything along those lines, Kami's Flare was going to come in. It's going to ping their face for 2 as well. A lot of great plays here. As Gala Greeters, we were going to put another counter into. The Wolf was going to get a counter. This was going to be a 5-3. Cool. I like it. Really, really neat stuff on our side of the board. I'm not sure why the opponent left, unfortunately, guys. That could have been a really fun one. Either way, I think that showcased the capabilities of the deck early on. I'm also now thinking maybe I should have had at least 3 Invigorating Hot Springs, because yeah, that haste is probably going to be really important, isn't it? Something to think about. Ooh, Gala Greeters. What's the other cards in hand? I can't tell. I just see Gala Greeters right now. Okay, why do I keep hearing this pronounced like 15 different ways, by the way? What's up with that? I always thought it was just Gala, but I don't know. Apparently there's 1,000 pronunciations. Yep. I had to double check the rest of my hand because I really was only looking at Gala Greeters there. Just literally had to double check, make sure. So we're gonna go treasure. Oh, okay, yeah, some life gain here. Ew. Ew. Oh, okay, Oran-Rief. So we could get greedy. I don't know what the opponent's running. It does look like just some basic life gain, but you know, that could also mean things like Skyclave Apparition and stuff like that could be in the deck. So the Oran-Rief is pretty good, because once it starts swinging in, so I don't think we get greedy off the Gala Greeters, right? We go for the extra counters. Yeah, we start spreading these counters out. We're gonna go no attacks, because if they have a Snakeskin Veil open, a trade into the Gala Greeters would be awful for us. Now, yes, it is a 2-for-1 where they had to use a Veil and a Veteran, but they could always recast a Veteran then, you know? Oh, nice. Exotic pets, that's sweet. Okay, so Raiju comes down. Check this, guys. Check it out, man. Check this out. So we're gonna go treasure this time. So we want to get this above the range. No, we're actually gonna spread this out. Oh, we did that in the wrong order. We wanted to do Raiju's ability first. Did I click that in the wrong order, guys, and I wasn't paying attention? Or did we not have an option? Raiju, whenever it attacks, and whenever it attacks, right? Yeah, I think I clicked those in the wrong order. So, Froghemoth, right? Let's go. Counter. GG opponent. Wow. Darn it, I wanted to get to attack there to see if I did click it in the wrong order, or if it didn't give us an option to choose an order for those. Oh well. I could go back in the video and watch it. Well, 100% win rate so far, but take it with a grain of salt as, you know, normal play mode. People concede a lot more often in normal play mode, so that game, it was feeling pretty good though. That's like one of those boards where after we established it with the Oran-Rief, then like the opponent really, really wants a board wipe, so. Oh, while we're waiting for the next match, guys, we'll bring up our sub goal, shall we? You guys, I mean, thank you so much. Holy cow, man. I never thought we'd reach our goal as soon as we're reaching it, if that makes sense. We didn't reach the goal yet. Our goal is set all the way up at 1,000, but I mean, we are so close, and every day I wake up and we're a little bit closer, and I mean, just thank you so much. And if you do enjoy the content, then do consider subscribing, because it is much appreciated, friends. So no red source is scary, but this is a better hand than the first one, and yeah, we're not going down to 5. So, like, we could actually play this out with Ranger class and Swarm Shambler while we try to grab... Okay, that's good. Gala Greeters is good. If they end up removing it early, though, then it's probably going to be a GG because we need the treasures off of Greeters. Okay, and... Trample? Spirited Companion. Nice. Oh, if... They wouldn't want to plug the trample into the Kami of Transience. They'd want to plug the lifelink into it. Right, so unfortunately not having that red source for the Kami's Flare is really, really bad here because, yeah, we got... we got to take out that Jukai Naturalist, but it's not working out, man. It's not working out. Would you guys have mulliganed down to 5 there, or... The first hand was really bad, though. That first hand was unplayable. There is no way. I think you guys will agree with me there. A little bit of runes, probably gonna stomp our face in, especially when we got a terrible start. Really, really bad start. So at this point, I think we still hit the Naturalist, right? Unless the Visitor doesn't get above the 3. Yep. Okay. Okay, they actually, wow. They plugged both counters into the Kami of Transience for the trample, I suppose. Just gonna go no blocks. It's not looking terrific. Gotta be real with ya. So Generous Visitor is open for us, so that's fun. But no land, no red source. It is over. I think it's over, guys. We might be able to full block into the Kami of Transience to not die, but they could just full swing, right? So yeah, anywhere other than the Kami of Transience, yeah, they want to go there because we're at 10, so full swing, and whatever they have in their hand should do it. What you got, opponent? Okay, Rune of Sustenance. Yeah, that's scary. So all their runes are free now because they got the little combo going on with Naturalist and Runeforge. So they can really just pop off here, unless they get unlucky. But I'm pretty sure it's still just a full swing. You can block 5 once we tap the Shambler down. Oh yeah, the haste rune is the nail in the coffin, for sure. Opponent's still going. Okay, no, they were counting it up, and we're gonna go Gala Greeters here, right? Jukai Naturalist trade, and then you right here, and there should still be 10 going through regardless, right? So we'll still activate this though, for the sake of just doing a thing. That was not an ideal match, was it, guys? But it does showcase a little bit of our draws, right? Like, you do want to find some amount of consistency in your draws. So if that happens again, then it's a deck building problem, right? Or not again necessarily, because, yeah, you could get unlucky. You could get unlucky 10 games in a row, honestly. So you do need a lot of testing, but still, it's something to consider. If a bad hand does happen again in the video or twice in the video, then it could be a deck building problem. So this is a much better starter. We don't have a guaranteed third, but 23 landed the deck. We should be okay. Still, at least we have a mountain, right? Okay, Lair. Nice. Very, very nice. Now, if that was a... Okay, yeah. If we played Mountain first and we drew a Den, then we wouldn't have been able to play Gala Greeters. So something important to note there. So we're going to go Ooze. We're going to go counter, and we're actually going to plug that counter into the greeter because we're trying to get out of the red zone, right? Where red can take out a 3. We're trying to get at least one of our creatures above that zone as fast as possible. Where red has trouble dealing with 4 toughness, right? So yeah. And sometimes, yeah, if they only have like 1 mana, then it can only ping a 2. And I'd rather them get the Oran-Rief than the Gala Greeters. I do think it is that important. It's going to be Halana here because we get to plug those 2 into the Oran-Rief. So it's sticking. Gonna go treasure token so we have Raiju open next turn. And hope I don't regret that, right? Yeah, something... Opponent? Opponent, where are you going? I gotta win the actual way at some point, right? Why is everyone conceding? Oh no. Well, man, I hope we go up against runes again. I want an actual game against runes. I want to see how it does. I gotta sit up in my chair, guys. Excuse me. It's a squeaky chair, so I don't know how much of that gets picked up on the mic. Good hand. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So that lost hand is looking like it was just one of those. It was just one of those times, you know. So check out the greed here, guys. Check out the greed here. We're going for a turn 2 Gala Greeters into a turn 3 Shamble Buddy and Renegade. Oh, this isn't a Shamble Buddy. There's a different Shamble Buddy. Well, this is, yeah, you know what? There's 2 Shamble Buddies in the game. Shambling Ghast and Swarm Shambler. What the crap are you? Okay. Interesting. Cool, I guess, right? Get another green source down. It hides the fact that we have red. Opponent? What? Come back, opponent! No! We had a really, we had a insane line of play here. Holy cow, it's like the opponents can see our hand or something. Yeah, turn 3, we're gonna drop that mountain, drop a Swarm Shambler, get a counter on the Greeters, drop the Renegade, and grab a treasure maybe? Maybe just the life too, I don't know. Probably the treasure though. And then on turn 4, we had Raiju to just go ahead and swing on in for a ton of damage, man. Would have been super spicy. Well, 80% win rate so far with the deck. We might as well keep playing. Yeah, we... I was not expecting this many concedes. We got all 4 of those wins the opponent just gave up. So, I don't know. Can the deck actually win a game, or... Find out next week. Okay, let's get these dens and the lairs down, huh? Yeah, we don't want to mulligan a hand where we have 3 mana. And like, even though it's a slow hand and we don't have like an early start, yeah, there's tons of stuff to draw into, so. Well, I think the opponent has a Fading Hope. Maybe. Does Fading Hope say up to 1? Can they just like play it even if it doesn't have a target? I don't know. They have something open though. Or they're just rocking the full control all the time. That's possible too. Yeah, if it was Fading Hope, that wolf would have been bye-bye, so. We could upgrade, but I don't think we do. Not against control. I think the Hot Spring is going to be pretty important. Oh, consider. Wait. What? Was that what was open? Would they not have wanted to do that last turn? I'm relatively confused, but you know, it is what it is. I'll play this out on red so we have the double red for Raiju when it comes time. And I will plug a counter into the wolf for a little bit of extra damage here. 3 more counters on the hot springs is fine. Giving haste to Halana if we top deck a land is huge. Oh. That's going to be hard for this deck to get rid of, isn't it? Uh-oh. Snakeskin Veil might just be the key here. Or we could just try to get above it anyways. We could go upgrade. We could even plug another thing. I don't want to put too much into it, though. Yeah, if we went double green, we'd actually have more to do here. Let's go upgrade on the Ranger class. Instead of going for the combat trick here, we're just going to say, I'm going to get 4 damage through. And that's how it is, right? Like that, I think that's better. I'm gonna keep the Invigorating Hot Springs counters open because this could be a longer match. Gotta be real. I don't think the opponent is gonna concede here by any means, especially when we had a couple slow turns here. We really want to see that untapped land so we can get that Hallandal down and just really start ripping open. Because, yeah, Invigorating Hot Springs on Hallandal, I mean, could it get much spicier than that, right? Because then you're getting those extra counters off the Hallandal, too. It could even be Raiju next turn, but I don't think so. I think we go for the setup. Excuse me, guys. So they're going for the 1 Connive. It's probably going to get through. Probably. Oh, nice. Tenacious Underdog's a great discard for that. Yeah, this is going to be a tough card to get past, guys, because maybe I should have gone for the combat trick to kill it, but I don't know. See, I like having the Snakeskin Veil. Problem is, yeah, it's not open because I played that on red for the Raiju. So, could get very punished here for not playing this on green. And that's something to note, right? The more you play with the deck, the more you could say, like, okay, well, I actually need to do this because we have a majority of green on the top end. Whereas later on, we can get treasures for the Raiju or something along those lines, too. Or just in the later stages of the game, you'll just eventually have those double red, too. Okay, opponent finally let the attack go through. I'm not sure what they're holding open, but I feel like there's going to be some kind of removal here. What do you guys think? Not sure what they're doing as of right now, though. So no double white, so it's not like a Wandering Emperor. Okay, so it is an Obscura Charm, so destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. Hey, let's go. We got the Hallandal. Give that a little bit of haste. One could argue that we actually wanted to go Swarm Shambler. Give Swarm Shambler haste, so we had the 1 green open for Snakeskin Veil to protect against removal on their turn. And then we could, I don't know. See, that's tough. That's really a really tough decision because now that Hallandal is out there, right? We could slap that Raiju on the board, give it some serious counters. So if they get greedy here with an attack, or if they don't have removal, like it's just over for them, right? So yeah, they need something, and they don't have double black for the Tenacious Underdog either. That's kind of important. I can imagine, excuse me guys, I apologize, my allergies have been terrible recently. I can imagine this deck is very hard to pilot. I can imagine this is a tough one for sure. What do you guys think? Have you played a deck similar? I mean, we got to get used to playing against it. Something tells me it's going to be a very powerful deck. Just all the time. So, gotta get used to it. Yeah, it's like I said, they need removal for this Halana, or it is not pretty for them next turn. It's just not. We could go, look at this, like, we don't even need the Raiju, man. We could go Swarm Shambler into Ranger class, and then give haste off the Hot Springs. Excuse me, guys, what? Oh, man, what's wrong? Oh, GG opponent, bro. Can I, opponent, can I please win the actual way? Oh man, guys. Well, since I'm losing my voice apparently, I guess we'll go, I guess we'll just go one more, unless it's a really, really fast one. Now hold on just a darn minute here. I already have 4 dominating vampires. How dare they do that? Well, 83% win rate is no joke, but yeah, take it with a grain of salt, guys. This is not in ranked, and opponents will fight to the very end if you're playing in ranked. Whereas these opponents are just like, they're giving up halfway through. Not even halfway through for most of them. So, I don't know. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, but I'm having a good time getting my daily wins in, I guess, right? We're not going to get greedy with a turn 3 this time, because it looks like we could be up against mono red, and oh no, good old-fashioned patchwork mono red. Okay. Okay. I was thinking there's a couple different paths we could take. Like the Emergent Sequence could ramp us a little bit faster, but I think it's Gala Greeters because the life gain could be important, and then getting counters on that every turn. Maybe we should have been greedy with a turn 2 Gala Greeters and then turn 3 a couple creatures. Probably equip that into the Etching, so that way we don't have the option to double block. Cathartic Pyre into the Greeters. Ooh, not looking great for us, guys. It is not. Not looking terrific. I'm going to take out that Rabbit Battery now while we have the option. Because if they give something else haste in their hand, we could just end up perishing, like, really fast. So, Invigorating Hot Springs, what that does for us is it lets us, wait, 3. We could combat trick the Etching with the Snakeskin Veil. Oh no, this comes out tapped. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Invigorating Hot Springs. So perfect example of the deck having a few 3-drops that actually just don't do anything when they hit the board. Here's a good example. They could have put the Rabbit Battery into the Patchwork there, swung for that extra damage. So we have a decent blocker, but not great, because Patchwork Automaton's gonna slip through easily. Hey, where's our removal? We only have 3. I like, that's not that many, so I understand.
I'm with the Gatewatch, so you might as well give up.
So we're seeing the trouble of Emergent Sequence. This entering the battlefield tapped is another Patchwork? Oh, opponent popping off, bro. 7. Yeah, we are forced to block here to survive. Nice, opponent. We are forced to block there. Emergent Sequence. Yeah, no, good game, opponent, man. Yeah, we just got wrecked. I'll let them play it out, though. Well, we have the Snakeskin Veil here, too, which could be cool, I guess. Yeah, good game, opponent. We were way too slow for this version of red. Oh, nice. Good game. So they are definitely rocking a different version than what I was playing the other day. So we're 35 minutes in. Do you guys think we got time for one more? So far our 2 losses are actually against other aggro builds. So what that tells me is we don't have enough removal in the deck, right? That's what that tells me. That being said, the more removal you add, the less aggro your own deck becomes. That being said too, look at that mono red build. That was pretty aggressive and they had their removal. Speaking of which, now we actually have removal in hand and we're probably going to be up against like control or something. I'm gonna keep this, guys. This is a weird hand that we haven't seen yet, so I like it. We're getting this down on red because we don't know if we're playing this out on green yet. I think we are playing it on green, but okay, so see that's good. That's good. We didn't get punished for that. So we could play this out on red then if we have to. So we're gonna go into the Upriser. Ooh, I love this mountain artwork. Very spicy. Oh, another mono red? Is this a thing? Let's go, guys. Is red coming back? Okay, so a good turn to go ahead and do Lair, and we can keep Kami's Flare open. We're gonna swing because what we want to do is we want to like get them to the point where they play a creature and they waste mana. Reckless Stormseeker with a counter gets over the Kami's Flare. Yep, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad for us, guys. Not gonna lie. So weird play. Very weird. I think we just got lucky. Unless they wanted to save that as a blocker. I guess that makes sense, right? The 1/2, so we swing here, we make this a 4/4, we have an emergency blocker if need be, right? I don't mind that, and we don't swing with the... Yeah, that makes sense. I love the power of Kumano Faces Kakuzan, which is probably worth slotting into a deck like the one we have right now, right? Where there's just so many ways to actually... Yeah, there's so many great ways to make it work in this deck. Although we did have that green top end rather than any red on the top end, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Kumano might just be too powerful to not include, especially when its first ability hits Planeswalkers too. Oh, they got their own Raiju. Oh, that is terrifying. Yep, and they're still holding the Stormseeker back as a blocker, so that was the plan for the opponents there. Which is pretty smart. Pretty smart. And we have Kami's Flare and another Upriser available. So we're going to go Kami's Flare into the Etching. Yeah, I don't know why it wants to tap both red. Like, what is that? Why does it do that? It's very weird, right? Very weird. Not like we can swing with the Upriser, so we'll do this. 5/5. We're just getting over the Stormseeker pretty effectively here. And then that other Raiju is going to hit that board. Like that other Raiju hits the board so hard here. Right now we're outpacing the aggro, but just barely. Just barely. It was definitely the double Kami's Flare that's letting us keep up right now. Yeah, this deck might need a Kumano Faces Kakuzan. We'll talk about that in the wrap-up, the final thoughts, right? Volatile Arsonist. Holy cow, dude. Nice. So they went much, much bigger than us. Only 1 damage, but they got to choose one anyway, so. Yeah, that menace is huge. If we swing, do we die? I don't think so. Because what we're doing is we're plugging. Yeah, this is a full swing. They're forced to block. Yep, GG opponent. Wow, 75% win rate. We fit how many matches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches into the video today. 40 minutes in. Not bad. Not bad. 75% win rate is no joke, but I keep saying it. Take it with a grain of salt. Normal play mode is a different ball game, guys. A completely different ball game. So do I think the deck is competitive? No, not really. Do I think it can get you your daily wins and your weekly wins? Yeah, I mean, we just kind of proved that, right? Like, there's enough power here to make the opponents concede, I guess. So let's talk about some changes real quick, because I do think there's a lot of noteworthy things. Fight rigging and invigorating hot springs doesn't do anything the turn it comes in. So what would I do? I would actually drop 2 fight rigging. I think it's okay in the deck. I think it can actually do a lot, especially with Renegade, with Upriser Renegade, right? But I just don't think it's that good. I would drop 2 fight rigging and go up 1 hot springs. So that means we have 1 card left over. And what I would do with that is I would drop another 2 Emergent Sequence. So we have 3 cards left over, and go up 3 Kumano Faces Kakazans, because I do think it is a little bit too powerful and a little bit too aggressive to not have in this deck, even though the main strategy was green early game, right? We go green in the early game and then kind of have that red splash for later. Whereas the, again, the Upriser and the Kami's Flare, yeah, a little bit of an exception to that rule, but it's mostly green here. So we're kind of, you'd have to rethink the mana base too. Since you're dropping the Emergent Sequence, and you're going up 3 red cards, and you're dropping another green card here. So you'd have to rethink the mana, and it would probably be an even split between red and green at that point. Anything else? Gala Greeters, man. MVP, huh? Froghemoth was really good too, wasn't it? Oran-Rief was pretty spicy. Maybe it's not the 3rd Invigorating Hot Springs. Maybe it's the 3rd Oran-Rief, or maybe you could even try to squeeze 4 of them. Do remember, guys, that Upriser is definitely a janky pick for the build as well. So if you did want to make it more competitive, you could actually drop all the Uprisers, all the fight rigging, and then try to find a more aggressive base with like 4 Kumanos, 4 Snakeskin Veils. Right? Yeah. Because these 2 cards are unnecessary but fun. Right? And then, yeah, you could go 4 Kumano, 4 Snakeskin Veils, 4 Oran-Riefs, and be pretty satisfied with that. Don't overlook Froghemoth, man. Don't overlook this card. If you have one, give it a shot in some of your decks and see how it does. I do think it's a pretty sick one. And the Emergent Sequence is pretty... I don't think it was bad. It was definitely bad in those scenarios. So maybe dropping those and adding a 4th Kami's Flare, because removal did seem pretty important. And even a Play with Fire on the top end to be able to ping the opponent's face too if you're not using it as removal. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this deck, huh? Because there's like a lot of things I would actually change. So how about this, huh? So first of all, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate ya. How about next Saturday, we revisit this deck? How does that sound, guys? Does that sound fun to you guys? So yeah, let me know in the comments what you would change or add. I'll do my best to implement them, and this will kind of be a little community brew. We haven't done one of those in a long while. Probably should have mentioned it at the very beginning of the video, but you know, if you guys made it this far and you're just now hearing it, then yeah, that's perfect, because you guys will be able to help me build this deck for next Saturday then. The people who actually watched all the matches, right? Yeah, makes sense to me. Hey, thank you again for being here, guys. I'm going to get the heck out of here because we're 45 minutes into the video. I will see you in the next video.